Welcome to Nebraska Preps Postgame with your hosts, Mike Sautter and Jacob Padilla.
Hey everyone, welcome into another edition of Nebraska Preps Postgame, where we break down what happened in last week's action, or most recent action, of high school basketball in the state of Nebraska. But first, let me tell you about the Nebraska Department of Transportation Highway Safety Office. You should probably drive with your hands on the wheel, eyes in focus, straight ahead. The driver has one job, and that's to drive. Again, this message from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. Mike Sautter, Jacob Padilla here with you, breaking down what happened last week in high school basketball. There was a lot of high school basketball action. I guess, where do you want to start?
Yeah, we actually got to play some games.
There was a ton of them, a ton of good ones too.
Yeah, and the weather allowed everybody to complete them, so that was good, considering what we had been through recently. But yeah, probably just go right. I don't know. Do we want to talk about what we saw at the Nebraska Prep Classic, or just kind of go through the?
Yeah, let's just maybe talk about the girls' games first. You want to go Elkhorn North, Millard North first?
Yeah.
Because that was the biggest game.
Yeah, you were there. I had to take off.
Really good game. I thought it was pretty high levels, very fast pace. Obviously, shot clock and everything certainly helped with that. But both teams just made shots. I mean, McKenna Murphy had a pretty big third quarter. And Britt Prince was really, really good in the second half. Not so much good in the first half, but she was 3 rebounds away from a triple-double. She had 11 assists, 11 or 12, depending on who you ask. But she was really good. 19 points. McKenna Murphy had 20. Elkhorn North clearly now the best team in the state, I would say, in any class. Britt obviously changes the game, does so much for them, but I thought the game was very well played. Really well officiated. It was really fast paced, up and down. That's probably kind of what I expected. That's how Millard North wants to play, with pace. Millard North did what they do, right? Like pressure, hit some threes, got some runouts, had a rebounding advantage, I would say, but just couldn't make enough shots. It was a really close game. Was 2-point game, 3-point game,
or something like that.
Yeah, 3-point game, something. So pretty fun game to watch for girls. If all girls basketball games were like that, it would be fun to watch.
Yeah, and I mean, talk about Britt. That's the mark of a great player is when you're not having a good shooting night.
Yeah, she got
still
her
find
other
a way
teammates
to
involved,
control the game.
Sure.
And credit to Tom Kriebel and both schools for getting this game together. So now we've gotten to see Elkhorn North against Millard North, against Bellevue West, obviously against Scott. 3-0 in those games. Those are
the biggest games that they played so far.
3 of probably the 5 best teams in the state or so about that. So yeah, glad we were able to get that kind of showcase game in part of the field.
There's a lot of people there too.
Yeah, it was good atmosphere there at Sokol Arena at Crete. So Kriebel holds this every year, and
it's been going on for like 30 years or so.
Yeah,
long.
Usually does a good job of bringing some schools in from the area, Iowa, and that was you talked about the kind of clearly the best team in Nebraska, Elkhorn North. Now, the number 1 team in Class A, Millard West, took its first loss in the game leading up to that, and
a tough week.
Johnston, Iowa, they're undefeated coming in, so it's basically number 1 in Class A in Nebraska versus number 1 in Iowa, both undefeated there, and it was tight at halftime. It was 32-30. Millard West got off to a rough start with some turnovers and fell behind, but got back into it. The Gesser twins kind of got going in the second quarter. And like I said, 2-point game at halftime. And then, man, Johnson just dominated the second half.
Yeah.
That team is really impressive. Kind of their athleticism, I think, and then shot making combined with those two just gave Millard West too many problems. They just could not keep up. So Millard West took its first loss, but I think that's one that will kind of serve them well, like playing against that level of competition. Like you're not going to see. I don't think you're going to see.
Sometimes taking a loss doesn't hurt you, right?
Yeah,
like it. Sometimes it doesn't.
So. And again, like I said, I don't know that they're going to see Johnson. I think would be interesting to see them against Elkhorn North, but yeah, they're clearly better than anybody else. I think that Millard West is going to play this year, whether regular season or down in state. So
yeah, real quick on Millard West, they beat Bellevue West the night before on Friday night, and
by
then
like 12, right?
Yeah, it was 74-62, and probably not that close. And then they play then Millard West this week has Southwest and West Side, two good teams. So yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah. Then on the second they play Millard North.
Yeah. So that certainly will be battle tested once they get through this tough schedule, but should be better for it moving forward. So
yeah.
Those were kind of the two showcase girls games. The other game I got there for was Norris against Sioux City Heelan. We kind of mentioned that last week. Norris the night before kind of escaped at Bennington. It was I think 1 point game going into the fourth quarter, and then Norris was able to kind of take control and finish that out because Evan Greenfield took over. I believe freshman finished with 20 points. So he's had a few big games and some big moments this year against some of the best teams they played. So that's certainly a good sign for the future for the Titans. But they got to a great start against Heelan, who they have Matt Knoll is 6'8", kind of forward, can handle it, can attack. He's committed to Wayne State. Really good player. And Norris didn't really have a great answer for him when they were able to get him going downhill. But they got off to a great start first quarter and just kind of cooled off after that. Had a tough time scoring the last three quarters. But they were able to kind of maintain that lead that they built early on and pulled out with a good win there. So, Chris Garner Jr. was really good in that game. He was kind of the primary defender on Knoll and like full court pressing him, getting up in his face, trying to discourage him from touching the ball, basically. And I mean, he finished with 17 and like 14 rebounds, but probably could have taken more shots than he did. So strategy was successful, and Garner finished with 16 points himself. So pretty good showing by Norris on a night when their shots weren't falling. So that Titans continue to roll here. Just that one loss,
12-1, and remain second because I don't know if anyone can beat Crete.
Yeah, you want to.
Yeah, let's just go to B while we're at it. Crete's 13-0. They handled Elkhorn.
They beat Seward by 40 and then hosted Elkhorn 1-2, kind of big game anticipation there. 1, 2, or 3, whatever.
3.
And was a
20-point game.
Yeah, it was not 85-63 was the final there. And Aiden McDowell, 32 points on 11-21 shooting, hit 4 threes, 6 to 7 from the line, and broke the school's career scoring record in the process. So big game. He certainly showed up.
Yeah.
And so Crete stands there at 13-0. And I don't believe they're playing this week.
Yeah, it's weird. I think it's because they have their conference tournament already happened or something. EMC already happened. So that's a weird kind of off-weeky thing. That might be one where you could throw that Blair game that they got to make up in there or something. Yeah, but they probably would have already done it. Yeah, Crete's remaining schedule is they Schuyler, and then next week is Wahoo.
Yeah, they try to make it up for that one.
Aurora, and then they play Ogallala in the
Heartland
Hoops Classics. So, and then York and Platteview. That's how they end up. So, could be undefeated coming into the district play.
It's a well-rounded team, a lot of size at every position.
Yeah, they're really good.
Got a player like McDowell that can take over. So
yeah.
They're 1 Norris 2. Elkhorn stayed at 3. No shame in losing on the road to the number 1 team in the state. Coaches aren't going to hold that against them. They last week before that though, they got a big win. Went to Ashland Greenwood and
handled Ashland Greenwood.
They're up 32-18 at halftime.
Thursday night, right?
Yep. And ended up holding on. Ashland Greenwood kind of finally they had a really rough offensive game. Started to get it going in the second half, but too little too late. And Elkhorn was able to hold on. Luke Howard, 25 points on 10 of 12 shooting, 5 of 7 from 3. although 2 of those were banks. And I've been told by a reliable source that he did not call either one of them. So, but heck of a game for him in that one. And then in the loss to Crete, Colin Comstock went off 29 points, 3 assists, 2 steals, but they couldn't really get anybody else going to keep pace with the Cardinals there. So Elkhorn sitting at 10-2, and they got Bennington this week, and then Lincoln Northwest on Saturday. And Scott, huge week for the Skyhawks, who jumped up to 4.
Yeah, they moved up to 4 after winning the RCC and kind of handling Roncalli, who stayed at number 7. So, yeah,
Scott, they handled Gross in their first RCC game, and then won 66-52 in the final. I think Brock Scholl with like 21-11 or something like that, 22-11. Continues to have a great season for him. And they're 9-3, and they are hosting Lincoln Pius the 10th, and then going to Omaha Central. So 2 good Class A teams they've got this week
for them.
Really testing themselves. Chance to kind of prove themselves and potentially climb back up there if they can get some
girls
good
games
wins.
For Scott there too are going to be good.
Yeah.
Big week for the Skyhawks on the basketball court.
100%. So those be fun matchups there.
Yeah.
Both doubleheaders there. Might try to make it to the second one. Obviously, we've got some college
Tuesday.
basketball responsibilities on Tuesday that are kind of taking both of us out. But some really good matchups on Tuesday, unfortunately.
There's a lot. There's like 5 that are like, just stick out, but that's okay.
Yeah. So not too much second half. Too much jumbling second half of the rankings.
Nothing really changed. Let's go to A. Bellevue West stayed number 1.
See what Jane Jackson did against Millard West. 30 points, 11 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, 1 block, 12 of 13 from the field, 6 of 6 from 3.
It's pretty good.
Pretty good. So, and they won that by 21 there. And they helped. Brian gave them a battle there.
Yeah, they did. Well, Amari Bynum did. He was terrific. If you just look at the box score against Brian on Saturday night, he was 29 on 11 of 18,
and
that's pretty good.
The first time we saw this matchup, went a lot.
He was
long
also
stretches
6 of 11 from 3.
Yeah, went long stretches without getting shots up. Like other guys were maybe being a little bit too aggressive, and they weren't getting Amari the ball enough when we saw them play at the Metro tournament. Clear was not a problem in that one, but
he had 29, 8, and 6.
74-67 was the final there. Bell West got off to a 19-12 start and then kind of held on from there. But both teams hit 13 threes. So that's there aren't many temes that Bellevue West scores or hits 13 threes and it's going to be a single digit game. So that's a credit to Brian. But largely credit to Bynum with 6 of those 7.
Amari had 20. He had 20. He had half the points.
Meanwhile, Bell West kind of the balance thing there. Polachek, 18 points, 8 boards, hit 4 threes. Robbie Garcia, 14 and 8. Jane Jackson had 12 points, 9 assists. So I go from shooting lights out, putting up 30 and 11 in the one game to nearly a double-double in a different way in the next game there, just kind of showing his all-around game. And then Eldon Turner, 11 points, 4 boards, 4 assists. So, Bell West is tough, and they're 13-1, and now they've got a really big week here.
Robbie Garcia, 14 and 8. Dude's just really just humming along.
Rock solid.
Yeah.
So they're going to prep, or they're hosting prep on Thursday,
and
then going to Kearney on Saturday, which obviously isn't an easy trip.
That place will be lit. It's Saturday night too. It's like 6:30 game. It's gonna be, that place will be. It'll be, Kearney's already. It's a tough place to play anyway, and then if you throw a lot of people in there, it can be tough.
And, Ben Jacobson and Jacob Weber both Ben Johnson and Jacob Weber get sped up there, combine their names into one. Both had huge week last week, so if they can kind of roll that forward, hit some shots in that one, that would be huge. I think Weber hit 9 threes in one of their games. Johnson continues to stuff stat sheet, so that'll be a fun one. And then Millard North also has a huge week, tough couple of games coming up this week, and coming off
after a 1-1 weekend. And Quincy,
up in the Quincy shootout.
Not bad. Right?
No, they took care of business against Lincoln Northeast before that, and then went up to the Quincy shootout and lost 74-79 to Curie out of Illinois, out of Chicago.
One of the better teams at Chicago.
Yeah, they were up 39-30 at halftime, and then got hit with a 28-point third quarter, and wasn't able to kind of right the ship there. Lost the second half 49-35. So need to be able to get some stops there, but still not a bad showing. Elijah Gith was unbelievable. 27 points, 5 boards, 4 assists, 11 of 18 from the field, 3 of 7 from 3, hit his 2 free throws. He got 17 points, 5 assists, 5 threes from Neil Mosser, who just committed to Black Hill State, D2 school. Congrats to him.
This morning.
Yeah. And then double from Derek Rollins, 16 and 11. And then they bounced back against Chaminade out of St. Louis, 63-50 to get the win up there. They were up there. They had a big second quarter, 17-8 to take control, and then held on the second half. Gith had 19 points, 5 boards. Mosser 17, 5 and 5. And he scored all 17 points without a 3-pointer. Went 6 of 6 inside the arc, and 5 of 7 from the free throw line. So kind of getting it done multiple ways there. This week coming up, they go to Westside on Tuesday, and they host Papio South, who we'll talk about in a moment here. Some bad news for them.
Yeah,
but,
they're
still, I mean, based on their results so far, like that's still going to be a tough game. So
yeah, no, I mean they could. I was looking at it last night. They could lose like 5 in a row, and or 5 of the last 7 or something like that.
So, Central there still sitting at
Central
number 3,
just hanging around.
Yeah, 2 close wins this past week. They escaped against Elkhorn, or at Elkhorn South, 65-60. They shot 31% from the field, I think. 1 of 5 from 3, but found a way to get the win there. It was not a great showing, but they found a way to get the win, and then they went to Papio South on Friday and pulled out a 58-55 overtime win. I was there. It was some wild swings late. Papio South went on a 10-2 run to take a 6-point lead with 3 minutes to go, and he's feeling good. It's like, all right, control here, get a couple stops, hit some shots. Central rallied to tie it up and scored with about 26 seconds left, and then at the end of regulation got forced to stop. So what we alluded to earlier is Reese Kircher, leg injury. He's going to be out for a while. He's their ball handler.
Their main primary, it's a tough blow.
And so what happened is anytime Bryson Ball basically had the ball in his hands and put it on the deck, doubled him, aggressively blitzed him, got the ball out of his hands. And so it's kind of tough to get a good shot off with your best player in that situation with the way they were defending him. And so it was a smart defensive play by Central, sent it to overtime. It kind of back and forth, and then Devin Holman hit a go-ahead 3 to put him up 2, and then Daleron Thomas stole the ball on the inbound and fed Andrew Brown for a layup. So you go from up 1 to down 4 in about 10 seconds. Jane Herrera hit a tough corner 3 to give them a shot to pull them within 1. Central split or hit free throws there, and then they got to look for the tie at the buzzer. It was about 10 seconds left, down 3. Got to West drove in. It looked like he was going to take the layup. Like he faked everybody out and then kicked it out to a wide open Grant Beckenauer. It was a great heads up play by him, and just circled that rim and popped out.
Grant is very capable of making that shot too.
So it's just tough blow for them because they really battled in that one. But Central got the win there. Devin Holman, 21 points, led the way. DJ Sterling had a great game as well, 16 points. Team shot 3-17 from 3, not great. And then they 67-31 against Gretna East there. So control of that one. So Central just has that Scott game this week coming up. So it'd be a tough matchup there for them. Be fun one to watch. And then Westside sitting there at 4.
Yeah, beats Papio South 51-44 at Papio South.
Yep. Kevin Stubblefield had a pretty good week last week. We talked about what they did on Monday with the 26 against Rockford, and then
he's good.
Had led the way with 18 points, hit 3 threes, 3 free throws, 3 twos. So just kind of scored from every way possible there. And they were down 2 at halftime against the Titans. So again, credit to Papio South for continuing to battle without a huge piece. But Westside took control, won the second half 27-18 to secure that victory there. So they've got Millard North on Tuesday, like we talked about, and then Millard West on Friday. Sitting there at 11-3. Really good week for Prep, who climbed from 7 back up to number 5 there, sitting at 11-2 now. I saw both their games their first 2 games anyway.
2 good wins.
56-49 at home against Bryan. And it was a fun game, back and forth the whole way. And then Prep just went on a 13-2 run early in the fourth quarter, or throughout the fourth quarter, to take an 11-point lead with 9 seconds left, and then kind of held on at the end over some turnovers or whatever. Trinell Parker, Josh Utke called it maybe his most complete performance considering level of competition, because he was in there battling with Bynum along with Dylan Clausen. He had 16-9, 3 blocks. Clausen had 11 points and 9 boards, 3 steals, 2 blocks, 2 assists. So just stuff in the stat sheet.
Trinell Parker has a real chance to be, a guy, meaning maybe a Division I guy. We'll see. He's got rest of this year and summer, spring, summer. Yeah, I mean, he's got time, but he does have a chance. He's athletic enough and all that. And if his 3-point shot is something that has evolved, clearly, because didn't think he could even attempt one, much less make one. So, yeah,
it was interesting. Like, everybody left him, and he looked around, and was like, "Okay,
right." I know. That's what I'm saying.
It was a big hit. So, so great game for him. And then they followed that up 64-52 at Gretna. And again, they closed the half on a 14-4 run to build up to 11. Gretna made a run, scored 7 straight to cut that thing down to 7. And then Prep responded with a 13-3 answer to put to 17, and then put it away there. And Gretna, they like to mix up those zones. They played a lot of zone defense against, obviously, Prep's got a lot more size than they do with the 2 bigs. And they were doubling the post early, and then they went to zone. And Prep made them pay with 12 threes. They just really good ball movement, getting to the open shooters and knocking them down.
Just kind of live with it.
Yep. Caleb Jesu hit 4 of those threes, had 16 points. Carson Jones had 13 points in the first half to get him going. Torrin Carter-Brown, spark off the bench, 12 points, hit 3 threes. Parker had 10 points, only missed 1 shot. And Clausen, 8 points, 11 rebounds, 5 blocks, 4 assists, 2 steals.
That's a pretty good game.
Yeah, just dude, really well-rounded player that can kind of impact the game in a lot of ways. And again, Prep looked a lot more like what we thought they were. Obviously, the Papio South loss was rough, but nobody's got twin towers like that with that kind of skill set and the complementary skill set between those two. And then if they're hitting shots around them, then it's tough to deal with. So good week for Prep. And again, they go to Bellevue West on Thursday, and then go to Pius on Saturday.
Yeah, it's pretty good 2 days there. Yeah.
So we had some. It's going to be a great week.
Yeah, it's a really
in
good
Class A for top 10 matchups, top 5 matchups. Some great top teams are testing themselves this week for sure. So be fun to see.
Then on the Gretna front, Lana Pekorski had broke the career scoring record with 13,000 would be 1,308 points. So he has the school record, career scoring record, which is kind of a feat. I mean, he has been starting since he was a freshman, but still, that's 1,300 points is a lot in Class A basketball. It's a lot.
Had some good players come through that.
Yeah, that's a lot. So credit to him. It's really
teammate
good.
Alex Wilcoxon on the list as well with their number 5, I think, moving up. So it's a pretty darn good duo there. Pekorski had 38 points, had 21 against Prep and 17 against Westview. They bounced back, beat Westview by 9, 65-56. Pekorski had a really good week, really efficient in his 2 games. They'll continue to be tough there, but sitting there at number 6 at 10-4. It's kind of quickly through the rest there. North, they beat Millard West, although they needed a 22-10 fourth quarter to do it. They were down 4 after 3. So Minor Strong 16, Jerrion Williams 14 points, 4 assists, Dekai Turner 12 points, 5 assists, and getting 12 points, 5 assists from Dekai Turner, that's huge. Strong, Williams, DeAndre Harper, kind of their guys that you kind of expect it. You get a boost from one of those other guards.
I'm going to call DeAndre Harper the notebook because I don't think he could jump over a notebook.
Hey, you don't need
it done though down low.
He does. You don't need to jump when you're run blocking and
with your
pile driving people.
Yeah, when you're, what is he, 6'5", like 6'6"? Yep. He's got to be 3 bill 2 7 60 70 80 90 something like that.
Yep. So they Elkhorn South Fremont this week. Brian there at number 8, 9-4. They go to Grand Island Tuesday, against Omaha Northwest Friday, and then at Papillion Vista Saturday. So no ranked teams this week, coming off of the loss to Prep. Then they bounce back and beat Elkhorn South in a tight one. And then they had the loss to Bellevue West. So not punished too much because they lost to 2 really good teams, but still sitting there in the top 10. Papio South did fall from 5 to 9.
I mean, that injury is just a huge thing. And they've also lost 4 of their last 5.
Yeah.
And then this week they have Gretna and Millard North. And Lincoln Southeast and Lincoln Northeast at Northeast, which isn't real easy either.
West Frost is going to be big for them.
Yeah,
he's got to step up. Had 12 points in both their games last week. And credit, they losing by 3 in overtime to Central.
They could lose
by
5 in a row.
West Side. So they're hanging tough, but you got to find a way to get over the hump.
Yeah, so, they got to if they could have a 1-1 week, that'd be
their goal is just to try to remain afloat as best they can and hope they can get Kircher back in time for the postseason. But they got a long way to go before there with some tough matchups. So we'll see.
Even finishing out the year, skipping ahead. I mean, there you go. They have Kearney and then at Bow West and Millard West. So and Millard West is winning games.
Yeah, they're
winning games.
They're battling.
Yeah. So Papio South needs to get right real quick here.
Yep.
It's too bad because it's a good team. Like they got it's too bad.
And then kind of rounding it out, Southeast jump back in.
Them and Pius just keep flip-flopping.
Pius, they beat Northwest and Lincoln High pretty handily. Southeast did. And they've got Lincoln East at Lincoln East Tuesday. That's always those two teams don't like each other very much, but and then Fremont Friday and then Westview Saturday for the Knights this week.
Westview
and then
could be a thing.
Yeah, they're going to battle. They got probably match up pretty well between the two of them, just kind of with the personnel. So, and then Pius fell out. They were receiving votes. They destroyed Norfolk and then beat Grand Island by 11. And so they've got Scott and Prep this week. So, it's going to be a tough week for them. But if they get a win this week, pretty sure they're jumping bak in.
Yeah, I would think so. Feel good about that. Yeah. Are you going to wrap up with shout outs?
Not this week. I didn't have any marked down. Go check my Twitter feed. That'll be out later, the full list. But I think probably the only notable kind of
other class games.
Yeah. Notable C1 result.
A lot of conference tournaments in those coming up, like C1, C2, D1, D2.
Sydney, kind of the one that I want to point. Sydney took their first loss to an out-of-state team.
Yuma, who has 1 loss.
Yeah, so no shame in that, but they dropped from 5 to 7 in the coaches poll. It's in at 14-1, below Donovan Trumbull, who's
moving.
Yeah, they've been on quite a run.
Consistent.
Yeah, really good team there. So they'll make a run as well. Class C1 will continue to be fun the rest of the season. Go check out the coaches poll for kind of the rest of the results there. No changes at the top of any of the 6 classes, but a little bit of shuffling further down.
Not some just of these other small changes. Nothing too crazy.
So, we will be back next week to talk about all the big games that we looked ahead to today. So it should be a fun show next week.
Yeah.